You've got two options for extra credit this week dealing with Great Blue Heron at the very back of your textbook. The first option is to clap and count the rhythm of the treble clef line all the way from beginning to end. And the second option is to conduct and ta that very same thing, the rhythm of the treble clef from beginning to end. So both options, of course, are focused on rhythm. So let's get a little bit of orientation for right now. So when you are focusing on the rhythm, of course, don't worry that that's a C and that's a G. You're just focused on that's a quarter note, those are two eighth notes, and so on. And when you perform from beginning to end, you'll go from here to here, skip on to that next line, still in the treble clef. When you see this guy right here, that's a repeat sign. So what that means is when you're officially performing this, you go right back to the beginning and you do that same thing again. Then you go on, continuing following the treble clef line, just paying attention to rhythms for right now. Then at the very end, you'll notice another one of those repeat signs. Now this time, you don't go back all the way to the beginning. Instead, you go back to this forward-facing repeat sign, and then you do that same second chunk again. So that's your path to navigate the entire piece. Now let's tackle the clap and count variation. So luckily we're in a nice friendly 3/4 time signature. This is a time signature that we've been dealing with since the beginning of the term. And in terms of the note values that you actually see, you don't see anything faster than an eighth note. You don't see any 16th notes. You just see some eighth notes, dotted quarter notes. So the counting system that we're going to use for this piece is just 1 and 2 and 3 and. That is, it's a 3/4 time signature involving eighth notes. So I'll demonstrate the whole thing, clapping and counting. Remember, especially with these long pieces, just take breaths where you need them. It's okay if you kind of ghost a couple of syllables. Just don't lose track of your steady pulse. So I'm not going to do the repeats just in the interest of keeping this video on the shorter side. So I'll just go straight through from beginning to end, clapping and counting the treble part. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 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 1 and 2 and 3 and. So again, your primary focus is on maintaining that steady pulse and clapping at exactly the right times. Now the other variation, the conduct and ta, as you can imagine, 3/4 time, you're going to be conducting a 3 pattern. And there are a couple of perhaps slightly challenging coordination issues. For instance, here you're going to be sneaking in your last ta of that measure after beat 3, but before beat 1 of the next measure. Another coordination test might be down here. You've got a rhythm that perhaps goes a little bit against how you're conducting, so you'll just want to make sure you're reading the rhythms accurately from the written page. So let's try this from the beginning. I'll conduct in ta. As before, I'm just going to go straight through without repeating any of the sections. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. Ta, 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 ta. Ta 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 ta. So there you have it. That will give you a good foundation for when you in the next couple of chapters, begin playing and also singing this piece, you'll have a really solid grounding in the timing of the notes of the piece.